We love spending this time with you. Thank you for listening. If you would like to take your listening experience to the next level, did you know there's a way to do that, J-Bo?
I do.
Yep, you know how you do it. You go to thetjshow.com, you sign up for the TJ Show newsletter, and you get cool things dropped right into your inbox, like the TJ Show's 10 shares. We pick 10 different things, everyone on the team does it, that we think you're going to love. It's not just about our show. This is about like stuff, music we're listening to, whatever it may be.
Like life stuff.
That's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a whole lot more in there. Sign up at thetjshow.com. This is the TJ Show, and it's Friday, June 21st, 2024. Hello, J-Bo.
What it do, TJ?
Well, it's good to see you. And Kenny, good to see you.
Hello, TJ. Nice to see you as well.
I found myself in a very unexpected place last night. I saw Inside Out 2 with
Good
my
for
girls.
You went to the movies?
I know, I have not been in a long time.
Oh my gosh, I almost passed out.
I couldn't believe it
Oh
that
my
I was
goodness.
there. But something happened and it prompted me to go. It was very unexpected. So I had the girls last night. I had a little dad-daughters date, and I was taking them out to dinner. And as I was driving them to dinner, one of our favorite spots, I pass a person's house that I know. And it's this dad. And I saw him go into the mailbox. And he just looked so miserable. Like just grumpy, getting his mail. And there was something in me that just clicked when I saw that.
Maybe he had a hard day.
Who knows? Well, he's got resting grumpy face.
It's a thing for him, I see.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm nothing special. Like, I can get that grumpy very easily.
Yeah, me too.
And I have to actively work against that. But when I saw that, there was something in me. It just reminded me, like, you get to be their dad, and that's such a gift.
Yeah.
You better be fun.
Yeah.
And so I just looked in the rearview mirror, and I was like, girls, I got a problem tonight. And they were like, what, Dad, what? I said, I'm feeling crazy and really fun. So I got a couple wild ideas, and I don't know where we're going to wind up after dinner. And they were like, oh! They were like, oh, what is it? What kind of crazy? And they started freaking out. They were cracking up. They were pushing each other around.
Oh,
they
they
were
were
so excited. So they ate their dinner, and they were like, Dada, what are we doing? I said, I don't know if you're going to be able to handle this. Like, Dada, what are you? I said, what if I took you to the movies right around the corner and we went to go see Inside Out 2? And they were so excited. They're like, oh my goodness, I can't remember the last time I saw a movie. This is how exciting. And there was celebration at the table, and I went to go see it. And I had a great time. You know, you and I talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
The movie theater is a special place.
Yes, it is.
It's different than our couch. I don't care how good your TV is. I don't care how good your sound system is. Unless you got a movie theater in your house.
Right.
And even then, it's probably a small rich person's movie theater.
Right.
It's not the movie theater, like, you know, the movie
The
theater.
expensive speakers and the awesome screen and just the comfy seats and the atmosphere. Yeah, you can't get that anywhere else.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with Inside Out, that whole movie, because, I mean, the first one was great, but this one, it's just so complicated what they're trying to convey, and yet they find a way to do it in a very easy, digestible way, and it was really interesting and fun, and the voice actors were great, so I loved it. I had a great time.
It's still on my list, and I've been saying it since it came out. I want to see it, and I will see it.
You'll like it, and I had to
get
stop.
to it.
I had to stop myself from crying.
Oh.
Movies usually wouldn't make me cry, but when you're there with your daughters, like, there's something so special about that. It's almost surreal. Like, I don't feel like I'm in real life.
Yeah, I don't have kids. I just cry at kids' movies all the time. That's just who I am.
No, that's good. You're more emotionally mature than me.
Yeah.
It takes little people to make me, really feel.
I got you.
It was wonderful. Producer Heather, you went to go see Inside Out 2. How did you feel about it?
I enjoyed it. It was a cute movie.
Come on, producer.
Well, that was the review
This
of the
girl
century.
downplays things all the time, but inside she's like all giddy. I know it.
Are you a Rotten Tomatoes critic, like one of the official critics?
No, but the movie was okay.
Stop it.
All right, listen, I'm also, in all fairness, I might be a little bit, the opposite of desensitized, like overexcitable with movies, because I don't get to go to the movies a lot.
It's true.
So pretty much anything you put in front of me, I'm like, whoa, that was amazing. Shannon in Pensacola, Florida. Hey, Shannon.
Hi.
Let me ask you this question. I like to ask people this when they call. What is the most exciting part of your life right now?
My relationship with my boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
Why is it so
nice.
good? Come on, tell us if you're willing to tell us.
Gosh,
Well,
please.
I am. We just went to Disney World for my birthday, and he took me. And it was all his idea, and I was so excited, and we just got back from that a couple of days ago.
Whoa, that's so cool. How's Mickey doing?
He is fantastic.
Let me tell you, when the man takes initiative, it hits different, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does.
Yes, and he does it all the time, J-Bo. I love you, too.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
That is so cool. I know, and that's such a... maybe you can back me up on this, and J-Bo, you too. I've been married to my wife for 10 years. When I take the initiative, the bonus reward points there, you almost can't count it. Like, it doesn't even make sense. Logically, I wouldn't think just taking the initiative would be such a big deal, but it is. And so I keep trying to do that, and it's like, you're rewarding me way too high for this, but if it's this easy,
take it.
I'm just going to keep doing this, and let's just cash in. You know, like, there are some people that know how to play the stock market, and they just know where to put their money. And it's like, boom, they put $1,000 in. Whoa, I've got $2,200 now. And it's like, I don't know how, it seems too easy, but if there's a way to do it, then you just roll with it. And so I'm not questioning it, but I agree with you. Initiative with a capital I, actually all in capital letters.
All of it, the whole word.
That will change a relationship. And I'm so happy I know that now.
Yep. Goes a long way.
Yep.
So when you were in Disney, you still have money left?
I don't think he does. I do.
Yes, Kenny.
Some initiative I think you can quantify it when you're buying tickets to Disney World.
Yes, you let someone else do that.
Right.
That's good. That was good initiative on your part. Well, listen, thank you so much for listening to our show, Shannon. I know you've got a million choices out there, and we're just so happy that you're here. And you've got our phone number now. You call us anytime. You're a friend of the show.
Well, I just wanted to tell you how much I love your show. You're new to our area, and I just love it.
Well, thank you, Shannon. And happy birthday as well.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
What is it that kept you listening to our show?
Well, I love you, TJ, but it's been J-Bo.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, the cool part about a team is that my hope is you like someone on the show. And so, listen, J-Bo, I'm the biggest fan of J-Bo, so I'm with you. I'm right in that category.
Stop it.
Well, I'm a fan of all of y'all. So
Kenny
it's
too?
Just great.
You didn't mention
Yep.
Kenny.
Yeah, I
you,
love
Shannon.
Kenny too and his news.
Great. No, Kenny's wonderful too. We got a great crew here, so that means a lot when you say that. And thank you. We're always curious to know why people stick around. So thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Shannon, thank you for loving me. I'm only as good as I am because of the people I get to work with. So.
Oh, well, that's great. Thank you so much for y'all being you.
Same back at you.
Yeah, same at you, Shannon, for real.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye. It's a very slow goodbye because we didn't want to hang out with her.
I wanted to
great.
hold on.
That's what happens when we love her so much. Well, you especially. She loves you the most.
I love her.
J-Bo, you showed me a video yesterday. I haven't been able to get it out of my head. So disturbing to me.
I'm sorry, bro.
I didn't realize what a fighter you are.
Let me tell you, I've been through some things you got to fight through, you know? Yeah.
Well, did you find out like what happened? Can you share?
So I woke up one morning and, I go into my living room and there's like one or two flies. And I'm like, oh, okay, one or two flies. They'll die on their own. They're looking for the light. I'm not going to let them out. They'll just die. I let it go. The next day, I wake up again, and apparently those two flies brought their entire family, their cousins, their uncles, their aunts, their in-laws, the cousins next door they live next to, and my entire living room and my dining room was invaded with flies. And I'm not talking about little gnats. I'm not talking about drain flies. I'm talking about the ones that you see at picnics or cookouts, and they hover over the potato salad, and you get really upset, and you like swat them off.
Yeah, the ones that got like those big eyes.
Those.
And they got like silver in them.
Yes.
It's a beautiful creature if you really look closely.
But not in your house or on your food.
No, they're gross.
They're disgusting. So I go to my leasing office. I let them know what's going on. They say, okay, we'll send pest control up.
You would say hundreds of flies.
Oh, hundreds. Yeah, I'm telling you, when I said their cousins and their aunts, I meant
Everyone.
the whole crew
Yeah.
was in my apartment, okay? So I call the leasing office. They're like, oh, yeah, we'll send pest control. Pest control walks up. He comes in his like uniform, holding that canister in his hand with his little spray in the other hand. And he looks around and he goes, oh, oh yeah, no, I can't do anything about this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You're the guy. Like, you're the one that comes in to take care of business.
These are your new roommates.
Yeah, pretty much. And he goes, no. These are the kind of flies that feed off of maybe like a dead animal, or like maybe there's a bird nest hiding in your HVAC system and they're feeding off the shells of new eggs or the droppings.
Ugh.
And I said, oh, no. What are we going to do about this? And Toby, that was his name. If you address somebody by their name, they know it's business, So I want to make sure he knew that it was business. And he said, well, I'm going to talk to the leasing office and I'm going to tell them to look into this. I said, okay. I waited. I didn't hear anything. So I was like, you know what? I got to take care of this myself. So I went to Amazon and I ordered a pack of 6 fly strips that you hang from your ceiling.
6 of them.
2 of the buzzers you plug into your wall,
2 buzzers.
and 2 fly swatters.
Now that means business, because
1 for each hand.
you were armed. You know that there's a scene in an old Arnold Schwarzenegger movie called Commando? Yeah. And I forget what happened, but the girl asks Arnold, "What are we doing?" And he goes, "Shopping." And then he goes and he breaks into like an ammunition store, and
I remember that
every
scene.
gun, Rambo style shotgun. That was you
That
with
was
the
me,
flies.
J-Bo Rambo. So I went ahead and I put up all the fly strips. I plugged in the electrical thingamajiggers in the wall, and they have a blue light to attract the flies. I took 2 fly swatters, and I went in.
Is the exterminator.
An extermination on those flies.
You had to take it into your own
I
hands.
did, and I'm so sore. My shoulders hurt from all the swatting I had to do. And by the time the leasing office walked up to my apartment, after I took care of business myself, they looked around and they said, "Where are all the flies?" And I said, "I took care of it myself."
Her
Because
husband
I am a warrior.
is in the U.S. military, but don't think that he's got all the military stuff.
no.
You've got your own ability to fight.
That's right.
And I'm proud of you, J-Bo.
Yeah.
Thank you for serving your apartment.
Oh, of course, for sure. I took care of business.
Your cat Apollo, you'd think he'd have gotten a couple of
He
them.
didn't do anything because he's well fed, and so therefore he's
Yeah.
not looking for food.
Well, I'm very impressed, and I saw the video of the aftermath, and it was not pretty.
No more flies have come to visit because one fly went back and told the rest of the crew, "Don't go over there. She's crazy. She's armed and dangerous."
J-Bo, a fighter. And
That's right.
We're going to start calling her Jambo. The TJ Show is sponsored by Prize Picks. You want to play daily fantasy sports and it just seems so complicated? Well, what about Prize Picks for daily fantasy sports?
Prize Picks is cool because it's just you picking against stat projections, more or less on 2 to 6 players' stats. Everything from basketball finals. Keep an eye out for star players for boosted payouts, and you can even use esports to add to your entries now.
Yeah, every Wednesday and Saturday in June, if your esport lineup doesn't win, you'll get your entry fee back. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what makes Prize Picks the #1 fantasy sports app. PrizePicks.com. Download the app today and use code TJShow for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code TJShow on Prize Picks for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less, it's that easy. Must be present in certain states. Visit PrizePicks.com for restrictions and details. PrizePicks.com. Have I said it enough?
PrizePicks.com.
You got me. This edition of the TJ Show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Yeah, the year is going by quite quickly.
Bro, I blinked and it's gone.
Halfway there. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's hard to take inventory on how we're doing.
Yeah.
And I think one of the ways to truly assess our progress is by talking to someone else about it. Therapists have made me realize, actually, maybe I'm further along than I think. Because our mind can play tricks on us.
That's right.
And we've got to talk through this kind of a thing. Whether you're celebrating big wins, small wins, whatever it is, knowing that you're winning or if you're not, how to change that is so valuable.
A win is a win, and therapy is a win.
I agree with you. If you've ever considered it, go to betterhelp.com/TJ. That's betterhelp.com/TJ. You fill out the questionnaire, you get linked up with a licensed therapist. If for some reason it's not a fit, you can switch therapists anytime, no additional fee. Take a moment, visit betterhelp.com/TJ today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp, HELP.com/TJ. betterhelp.com/TJ. This is the TJ Show. J-Bo.
Yes, TJ.
You know, we love our new puppy, Frankie Furball.
Yeah,
She's such a blessing to our family, such a cute little animal.
she's precious.
And she's also really weird, as puppies tend to be.
Okay.
Every time we feed her, she totally loses her chill factor. Like, just when we go to our closet and we rustle her food bag, she starts freaking out and making the wildest sounds. And I had to record this so I could play it for you. It's so over the top. Like, it sounds like she's being tortured. And this is just her waiting for her food.
Let me hear it.
And we deliver the food in seconds.
Not quick enough.
I mean, it sounds like she's in actual danger.
Mama's hungry.
No, don't feel bad for her.
Yeah, that's how I feel when I get hungry.
She's being an impatient baby. My daughter Charlie's getting the food out of the closet. There it is. Like just the sound of a bag.
She's excited. Listen, when I know the food's ready, I'm like, I'm coming.
Yeah.
I'm coming right now.
Frankie, relax. I have your food.
And so I had to see, like, is there something wrong with my dog? And so I Googled it. And it turns out what she's showing is a form of hanger. She's hangry.
I've been there.
And they say cats have this issue. They become irritable and even aggressive when they're hungry. Dogs become impatient and are prone to barking or destructive behavior when their meal is delayed.
Yeah.
And when we say delayed, we're talking like 27 seconds. You heard that, right?
Her stomach is on the timer. Her stomach knows when it's time to eat.
That baby eats 3 times a day. I mean, she is so well fed. Birds, some bird species, particularly parrots, can become noisy and destructive when they're hungry. All hanger. Rats and mice, these little mammals, they can become more aggressive. So it sounds a lot like we get when we get hangry, right?
Oh, yeah.
Bears get hangry. They become aggressive when they can't find enough food. Wolves, increased aggression. And even fish, such as betta fish. You ever notice they're in a bad mood?
Yeah, they kind of just like float there.
Yeah, but sometimes they flip their fins really fast.
Yeah,
I think they're hangry.
They're hangry, all right.
And there was some research that was done. There is a lecturer on dietetics and nutrition from King's College in London. She said that hanger can happen to anyone. And in terms of neuroscience, it's actually more likely to happen to men than women because of their brain chemistry. Hanger can have a real impact on your personal relationships. This study found that it leads to greater aggression amongst married couples. Now, how often do we get into fights that we don't need to get into, and all we got to do is just get fed? We got to go eat something. Have you ever tried that where you're feeling really irritable and you go, all right, let me get a snack bar?
No, I know it to be true. Like there are times where my husband Archie and I will be on the phone, and he's in the U.S. military, so we live in separate states, so we spend a lot of time on the phone talking, and we'll get into a conversation that's very important for our family, and I cannot think straight if I'm hungry. So sometimes I can feel myself spiraling, and I'll say, you know what, let me just call you back.
I need an almond.
I need to eat. I need food.
Can you actually, if you're down for it, can you interview Archie or send him like a Marco and like get some feedback on your hanger episodes?
Oh, I'm sure he has quite a few stories.
Yeah, that would be fun. I'd love to hear that next week. Okay. Yeah. Yes, Kenny.
J-Bo hangs up the phone and starts going,
yeah, that's facts. It actually sounds like me going through the cupboards and I'm like, I have to find food! I must find food!
J-Bo, I really want this discussion to stop, and Kenny won't allow it to happen.
Oh, no. What discussion is it?
He doesn't know when to just give something up.
Yeah.
And you may remember yesterday at this time, I was saying I have a little bit of a complication at home because my kids heard Kenny say on the radio that he can hold his breath underwater for 2 minutes, which I immediately said is not true. There's no way that this guy could hold his breath for 2 minutes underwater, and now my kids are saying this. Charlie, what did you just say you wish you could do?
Hold my breath as long as Kenny.
They're like aspiring to these Kenny goals now.
Not good goals to have.
Okay, just for the record, guys, can I clear something up?
Yeah.
That is an exaggeration. People don't
How come he said it on the radio?
What? And then you just insist because he said it on the radio, it's got to be true.
How come he said it on the radio?
And so I am like, guys, we're not going to try to hold our breath for 2 minutes underwater. It's just not happening. And now Kenny comes to me.
Well, I tried it out. I tried to prove that I could do it.
So how did you try to prove that you could do this?
So I took a salad spinner and I filled it up with water and I put it on the coffee table of my living room and I got on my knees and I dunked my head in.
Wow. Just to prove a point.
Just to prove that he can do it. And it's like, I can tell you without even hearing this, I'm going to guess you did not even come close. There's no way you could hold your breath for 2 minutes. That's like David Blaine level trickery.
Well, you would be right. But here's the thing. I think, first of all, I don't think that was the right way to do it. I really want to be in a pool. So I'm going to figure out how to do it without attracting the attention of the lifeguard. I've done this before. I promise you, I did it at a pool. Somebody was counting outside. I'm pretty sure I got to 2 minutes.
Wait a minute. Okay, so you said they were counting. Counting with their mouth or with a timer?
Yeah, I think they were just like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
No, that does not
the same thing. You need a timer.
People count faster and slower. Like, you can't just use that. You think the Olympics times by a guy on the side of the pool going 1, 2, 3.
The original Olympics did.
Yes, producer Heather.
Kenny was probably under the water for 30 seconds, blacked out, and then dreamt the whole thing.
I don't know what's going on, but here, I have the audio of him trying. Let's see how far he got.
Alexa.
This is his girlfriend.
Set a timer for 2 minutes.
2 minutes, starting now.
Okay, so the 2 minutes starts there. Kenny puts his head in the salad bowl of water, which has to be the most unattractive thing his girlfriend's ever seen.
I love how she's so supportive, though.
No, this is Kenny pulling his head out of the water.
I burped.
Oh, that's what threw you off, a burp?
Yeah, so that was the first complication there. And I had Allison start the timer with Alexa because I was doing my breathing exercises beforehand and I didn't want to expel any extra air by telling Alexa to start the timer myself.
Okay, understood.
Alexa, how much time is left on the counter?
Let's see how long.
You have 1 minute and 10 seconds left.
Okay, so 50 seconds.
Oh, compared to 2 minutes, two different things.
Which is still pretty impressive because I was thinking about this yesterday and I was driving home and I tried to hold my breath in the car. And I hit about...
Don't do that while you're driving.
Well, but I hit...
You black out, dude?
No.
Come on.
I was at about 37 seconds comfortably. And after that, it goes out of you pretty quickly. So please stop this madness, okay?
I don't know. I think I want to do it under the right circumstances.
He doesn't
I'm pretty
listen.
confident.
You're killing brain cells, Kenny. You only have so many left.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, and especially you, you probably have a hard time holding your breath, if you know what I mean. You've been doing some things to your lungs.
Yeah.
True.
You're not the guy that I would bet on 2 minutes.
This story is not over, TJ.
Okay,
I'm going
fine.
to prove it.
There's a lot of headlines that are thrown at us every single day. And it takes a pretty bold headline to stand out after we read through the hundreds that we see, and this is the one today. Ready for this? Get ready, you're not going to believe it. Eating cheese may help you live longer. Come on now.
That's the headline
Come on.
you've been waiting for.
How do you not click on that? Would you click on that headline?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I had to figure out what this was all about, because I always thought the opposite, like cheese is something you eat, but you know it's not great for you.
Right.
This was a recent large-scale study out of China. They found that mental well-being is the single most important contributor to healthy aging and longevity. The researchers also found a very strong connection to cheese consumption. This was surprising. The study compared participants' scores on positive outlook, depressive symptoms, neuroticism, and life satisfaction with age-related health issues. This study found that those who reported the most robust levels of mental health and stress resilience seemed to eat more cheese. Now, with this kind of research, I think in all fairness, there are probably other things that cheese is doing that is not great for you.
Right.
But it just so happened to work out that these people who are happier happened to consume more cheese. The researchers did admit that cheese was not directly responsible for longevity, but a higher intake of cheese, worth pointing out. Cheese and fruit, by the way, was a standout contributor to high well-being scores.
It sounds like when I'm stressed, what I eat, cheese.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
you take a block down.
Yeah, I take a block down, you know what I'm saying? I just take some shredded cheese and just sprinkle it in my mouth, you know?
You ever just take a bite out of the block?
Yes.
I've been aggressive like that before. I'm with you.
It's so satisfying. You take a bite and you're like,
Well, now I got to eat the rest. Can't leave that in the fridge. Those who reported consuming camembert. Do you know what
Camembert.
Camembert?
Camembert
See,
cheese.
I'm not well versed in cheese. I know my
that's
cheddar.
fancy cheese.
And other cheeses with rind had a 3.67% positive impact on those healthy aging factors. Hey, listen, anything that'll help. Get me a pizza. Kenny, come on.
Let's go.
Let's roll.
There's Domino's.
Yes, Producer Heather, I know you're like a very big, like a weirdly huge fan of cheese. Maybe you've got the right idea.
Yeah. No, I love cheese. It's like my favorite thing. But all I'm hearing from this article is that cheese saves lives.
No, that's not what they're saying.
Well,
That's-
you can interpret it however you want. But don't
about
you
that.
have like a robust collection? Do you have like a cheese cellar? What is your cheese situation? Because it's not normal.
Well, I just believe that there's different cheeses for different things. So I always have at least 6 or 7 cheeses going in my fridge at one time.
What do you need 6 or 7 cheeses for?
Well, I use different cheeses for different things. So, like, I have a sharp cheddar cheese that I use for grilled cheese sandwiches only. I have shredded cheddar cheese that only goes on, like, Mexican food, like tacos, quesadillas, stuff like that. Then I have shredded mozzarella cheese that I only use for, like, pasta, pizzas, Italian food, stuff like that. Then I have a fresh mozzarella that I use for, like an antipasto. And then I have...
Antipasto.
Yeah, what is that?
You're so cultured.
And then I'll have like a fancy cheese, like a brie, if I'm having company.
A
stuff
brie?
like that.
What? Do you pair it with some wine?
Unbelievable.
I'll pair it with like a fig or and a honey drizzle.
Get out!
Look at you, cheese expert. I feel like you should, you know how they have those people at the grocery store and you ask them stuff and you could tell they have no idea what they're talking about?
Yeah.
You should work there and like give them all this wisdom that you have.
I did work at a deli for several years. So.
Oh, there you go. Look, that's the origin story of what you just heard.
For sure. My cheese is more versatile. I use one cheese for everything. I just make it work.
Well, it's so easy that way.
Yeah.
So there's some good news, right? Amidst all the bad news, cheese is apparently pretty good for us.
Makes you happy.
Let's not pay attention to the bad part of it.
Right.
What's good, everybody? It's Gerard Hector, the host and executive producer of the True Hoop Podcast. You guys can catch me and the godfather of basketball player development, Coach David Thorpe, every Monday and Thursday talking all things NBA.
It starts with Shea. Jalen Williamson, terrific. And a great coach. It starts with Shea. He's carrying a team. He's Michael Jordan right now.
Search for the True Hoop Podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Rate, review, subscribe. Catch us every Monday and Thursday. Take care.
This is the TJ Show, our news that sounds different around here because Kenny reads through every story he can find, and then he brings us the most interesting ones. Kenny, what's happening on the planet today?
McDonald's has officially announced the details and start date for its highly anticipated $5 value meal.
Oh, yeah, people were complaining about the prices, right? And so this is an answer to that, right?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we learned about this deal a month ago when a Wall Street Journal reported. It even prompted other chains like Burger King, Wendy's, and Starbucks to roll out similar deals, but this one for McDonald's will begin on June 25th at McDonald's U.S. locations. It'll be a $5 meal deal for a limited time, and it includes either a McDouble cheeseburger.
Ooh, they're going double.
Okay.
The McDouble.
Whoa.
I like that.
Or a McChicken sandwich, so you have the option there, a small French fry, and a 4-piece chicken McNuggets with a small soft drink, all for $5.
Oh, so they're doubling up on the meats.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wow.
Right.
Double.
Hopefully that can help somebody who maybe only has $5 to feed themselves that day.
Anything you can get for $5 or under is a shocker in today's world.
Yeah, it is.
So we'll celebrate anything we can get.
No, it's interesting. That's actually my go-to McDonald's order. That's usually what I get. I get a McDouble, a 4-piece, a small fry, and a soft drink.
That's what happens when you build relationship. They just know you. They know what you want.
They're like, give him the Kenny. Give him that.
It was just for me. The president of McDonald's USA said, "We heard our fans loud and clear. They're looking for even more great value from us, and this summer, that's exactly what they'll get." Fast food chains have been struggling as many consumers have cut back, citing high prices.
Yeah. You know, if I had to picture Kenny protesting in any situation in our world, like, I just feel like you'd be outside of a fast food restaurant. It'd be something related to food.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I've thought about protesting in front of Taco Bell. They have these nacho fries that I'm absolutely in love with, and they only offer them for limited amounts of time.
Yeah.
So I want them to offer that on the menu 365
See, I know
days
this
a
guy.
What do we want? Fries.
What do we want them all the time?
Everyone's got their passions. Kenny, what else you have?
There was new research published in the Journal of American Medical Association that has revealed 3 secrets to reaching 100 years old.
Oh, do you want to live to 100, Kenny?
Yeah, I would love to.
Hit me with it.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, the secrets aren't so secret. They're not smoking, regular exercise, and eating a diverse diet.
Oh, so we know that already.
Yeah, but I guess what we do have here are some statistics that show how effective these could be. The researchers looked at existing data from a Chinese longevity healthy study, and the team constructed this healthy lifestyle score based on 3 key factors. And they found those with the highest lifestyle scores between 5 and 6 had a 61% higher odds of making it to 100 years old.
I always feel like with life, we can check off boxes that we do have control of. There's a lot of things we don't have control of.
Right.
These are some things most of the time we have control of. So I'm down to bet on that. Why not?
By individual factors, they say never smoking increased the odds of reaching 100 by 25% compared to current smoking. Regular exercise boosted the odds by 31%.
Nice.
And a highly diverse diet improved the odds by 23%. Another thing they mentioned, they said, even if you're at 80 years old already, taking these habits into account could still improve your odds.
As someone who wants to live to 100, Kenny, how many of those things are you doing?
I don't know. I think my diet is pretty diverse.
All right. Well, maybe work on the other ones.
So like 2.5 to go?
Like 1.25 maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kenny, what else do you have?
Do you know those plastic air-filled pillows that come in your Amazon packages?
Yes.
Yes.
You pop them and they make a really loud noise.
I cannot stand those because my kids always find them, even though I actually shut the box on purpose so they don't find them. And I just hear this loud bang in the living room. It's like, come on, guys. That irritates me.
Well, Amazon said yesterday that it has eliminated 95% of single-use box fillers from its packaging in North America and will likely be completely air pillow free by the end of the year.
What are they going to use then to protect the things from breaking?
Go figure. We talked to John Ratzenberger. They're going to use paper products. They found that it's not only easier to recycle, but it also does a better job of protecting your products.
Oh, yeah. He came up with like a replacement for a packaging peanut. And I guess that would also work for the air pop thing.
Yeah, so this is going to be paper-based package buffers.
Good.
Back in April, Amazon was being criticized for its plastic use. The conservation organization Oceana estimated that the company was responsible for 208 million pounds of plastic waste in 2022. So they've been trying to drop this. Apparently, these plastic pillow bubbles have been eliminated in Europe and India, and now that's coming to the United States.
Well, I could probably talk about this now. I sent them a complaint letter with all of that information. It was really just because I didn't want my kids to stop popping them. But whatever it took to just get them to eliminate it.
No, there's no way you sent them a complaint letter.
It seemed to work, Jabo.
Yeah. Get out of
here. Just celebrating this in a big way.
I'm going to give you credit for this, TJ. Thank you.
Glad the planet will benefit too, but more so, I don't want to hear surprise pops from the other room. Kenny, what else do you have?
Remember, Apple released its $3,500 Vision Pro spatial computing headset back in February, and it was reported then that their plan was to follow up with the release of 2 more headsets. One would be an even more powerful next-generation version, and the other would be a cheaper, more affordable version. Now it's being reported from the information Apple has ditched its plans to launch the more powerful device, and they're going to focus solely on the cheaper, less expensive version.
So I guess what does that mean? They want to get it out to more people.
Yeah.
They want it to become a little bit more normal to wear a big ski helmet.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I am freaked out by what I think we're going to start seeing. Like, I think we're just starting to get a little hint of it. At some point, I do feel like it's going to be normal to have people in digital helmets.
I hope what you're saying is not true.
Well, which other way does this go? We've heard the response on this first example from Apple. People have said it's life-changing and there's more to come on that. And you know it's going to get better and better. It creeps me out. I really don't want anything to do with it. I almost don't want to put it on once.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be in our lifetime. What you're saying that's going to happen will be in our lifetime, because that means everyone would literally have to be okay with that.
It's weird. It almost feels like another way to split a society, too. It's like, no, man, we're digital helmet wearers now. And you're either in or you're out. I'm so glad I know how to chop wood. Because I just want to be warm during the internet shutdown, whenever that happens.
I need to learn how to chop wood then. Because you got me scared.
Yes,
There's a great wood chopping app on the Vision Pro that you have to try.
Yep. They warmed you up with that one with the Yule log. Remember that? You don't need a real fire. Just use a digital one. Put it on your screen.
I do like that digital one. It's nice.
Got Mariah Carey singing in the background. Does your fire do that? No, it only crackles.
Fire crackles and everything.
Yeah.
So we don't know too much about this newer, cheaper version of the Vision Pro, but they say it could come by the end of 2025. It'll have some lesser features, but it will have a high-res display that the old one does have. And they say it'll be a third lighter than the original.
Kenny, what else do you have?
We learned about the Gen Z term known as quiet quitting about 2 years ago. It means doing the bare minimum at your job to get by. It's also known as acting your wage. But now it appears there's a growing trend among Gen Z and millennials who are quiet quitting their friendships and relationships that they're no longer happy with.
So what does that mean? You just go silent on the people in your life?
Yeah, what does that look like?
Yeah, so one TikTok creator posted a video explaining how she has quiet quit several friendships in her life. She said, "You can only give so much to people who are not reciprocating the same energy back to you." She went on to say, breaking up with a friend is weird because it's not like a romantic relationship where it has to end because you're seeing other people, but it's kind of just has to slowly fade because you're not prioritizing each other anymore.
Oh, I see. So not dealing with the issues, just ignoring them and suppressing them.
Yeah, interestingly enough, there was one psychologist who said this is a good thing. While losing enduring connections can lead to feelings of isolation or missing out, quiet quitting may also be a healthy way for millennials and Gen Z to prune their social lives, allowing new, richer relationships to grow. But another psychologist said this isn't a good idea. Instead of splitting up, issues within a relationship should be addressed to resolve the problem or bring an end to the relationship. And not to mention, the person on the other end of the quiet quitting is going to feel like they're being ghosted.
Yeah.
I think it is good to try to resolve a problem with a friend, because if you guys are friends, you want that friendship to last.
Sure.
But if you keep bringing things up to that person and they apologize and there's no change, it's just word but no action, then you have to tell yourself, like, okay, this is not healthy for me. I need to walk away from this friendship.
Yeah, and then they fizzle out and you don't see those people anymore.
Yeah.
I think that's a very mature way to handle it. Kenny, what else do you have?
2 climate activists from Just Stop Oil, or JSO, were arrested in London yesterday at an airfield after they sprayed orange paint on private jets.
What's the reason for that?
Well, this is the latest in a string of demonstrations from the group in recent days. These are people who are protesting climate and the use of oil and all of that. Apparently, they were targeting Taylor Swift's private jet because she's in England performing for her Eras tour. But local police later said that her jet wasn't parked in that airfield. So a little bit of a swing and a miss.
Yeah. Try to make a point, and then it's like, oops, sorry, other rich guy.
Yeah.
Right. My bad.
Yeah.
The day before, there were JSO protesters who sprayed onto the 4,500-year-old Stonehenge. They sprayed orange paint on Stonehenge. Apparently, there wasn't damage done to the monument. They were able to clean it up. They also had members of the group who've made headlines for blocking traffic, throwing paint on a Van Gogh painting, or running onto the Wimbledon courts.
I hope this paint is like water paint, because if it's not water paint, in order for them to get this paint off the Stonehenge and these paintings and these jets, they have to use water and detergent, which then goes into the environment. So they're kind of causing an effect that they're trying to prevent.
You should have a good talking to with these people.
Call them up. Tell them I got to talk to them.
They
Put them on the
sound
phone.
like they're very reasonable and rational, so I think they're going to hear you out. Kenny.
They're JSO. You replace that S with a B and you got J-Bo.
Yeah.
So you're the perfect person to
Exactly.
speak some
Tell them,
sense
use
into
water
these
paint. I'm not trying to change your movement, but use water paint, you know?
Kenny, what else do you have?
We're learning the story of a hiker who needed to be rescued on the Sierra Nevada mountains. The hiker reportedly felt a sting that she thought was a spider bite. Afterwards, she was unable to feel the skin on her legs. She could not continue her hike down. Amazingly, she used the last of her phone's battery just to call for help, and she was able to relay her coordinates to rescuers just before the device died. So amazingly, that happened. And
What kind of spider?
So that's the thing. It wasn't a spider at all. So it took them 5 hours to rescue this woman. And a couple of days later, they found that it wasn't a spider bite at all. It was stinging nettles located on the overgrown trail that she was walking on. So it was a plant.
A plant got her?
A plant.
Wow.
See, you know where I'd never experienced that at? On my couch.
Yeah, exactly,
I never
J-Bo.
experienced that at.
Well,
She
that
went
is
for a hike?
the only evidence I need to never go camping. I told you recently, my kid found this plant that was called a pokeweed plant. Found it somewhere in some random corner of the woods. The next day, her face is all contorted and like messed up just from touching a plant.
Man.
I mean, think about this stuff. It's wild out there. Stay inside. Okay.
Stay inside.
What else do you need, Kenny?
Well, they say the leaves and young stems of these stinging nettle plants are fitted with stinging hairs tipped with formic acid and other irritants that can cause irritation upon puncturing the skin. And if touched, these needle-like hairs inject stinging acid into the skin, triggering a burning, tingling sensation and an itchy rash. Fortunately, this hiker is recovering nicely. Usually the effects of this wear off after 24 hours.
Yeah, if I had to go camping because someone forced me, or if I got lost in the woods, I would take my little Picture This app, and I'd be taking a picture of every plant I walk past. It would take me a very long time to get through the woods.
You'd be in a spacesuit.
Right, exactly. In the bubble, your phone battery would die out before you even
That's
get
true.
a chance to call somebody.
Kenny, thank you for keeping us somewhat informed.
That's what's happening.
It was brought to my attention yesterday that today is Bring Your Dog to Work Day. Now, multiple people in our office made sure that I knew about this. Now, we also happen to have a puppy at home named Frankie.
If you listen to the show long enough, TJ talks about Frankie Furball all the time. She's a blessing, the best thing that's ever happened to her. He loves the dog better more than his kids.
No.
He didn't say it, but it sounds that way.
No, I didn't say that. I barely talk about her. And
all the time talks about her.
I have mentioned her on one hand. I can count how many times.
No.
She is wonderful, and we do love her. She's this beautiful little puppy, and no, she's not here today. I did not bring my dog to work.
Yeah,
because,
and I'm upset about that.
Well, what do you want me to do? Everyone wants a dog like in the vicinity, but then it's me who has to take care of the dog.
Well, yeah, it's your dog.
Yeah, I don't want to like go outside and walk her. And I also think it's just unprofessional to bring your dog into a workplace to begin with. And I know people do it all the time. I'm kind of stunned by that.
It's not unprofessional. There's some companies that actually allow it and encourage it. Like, it's very therapeutic for people to have dogs in their work environment.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something weird about that. Like, have they done research on that?
Yes, they have. That's why they allow it.
I don't know. I still think it's a little distracting.
It's not distracting.
We got in trouble one time because a coworker of mine many years ago at a radio station would bring his dog to work, and it was cute. Everyone liked hanging out with him.
It's awesome.
But his fur would start to get into the computer like the fan. It would actually mess up the equipment we had. Mm-hmm. So we have a lot of sensitive equipment around here. I think about that because these animals shed.
Cut your dog's hair down. What's the problem?
Give her a little buzz cut before she comes in.
My mom would take her dog to work ever since it was a puppy, Princess Jasmine, the dog. And one of my mom's coworkers was a volunteer firefighter who had this like utility belt with a flashlight on it.
Oh, love a good flashlight.
Flashing the light on the ground, and the dog became fascinated with it. This dog is 10 years old now, and it is obsessed with lights.
From that one guy?
From that one guy. Started this whole thing.
Traumatized.
So. One coworker destroyed his dog.
Yeah, but it's us, me, Kenny, camera guy Josh, producer Heather, who loves dogs. Oh. We're not going to do that to Frankie Furball.
Guys, come over to my house. Every day is bring your dog to my house day, and you guys can go and hang out with her.
It's the same thing.
Anytime you want. Yes, camera guy Josh.
I was actually offered a job, and one of the perks was that you could bring your dog to work every single day. And so that's how I knew that was not the job for me. No way.
Come on, Josh.
Yeah,
no
so
way.
Why do you feel so passionate against dogs at work?
Why on earth do you want a dog walking around at your workplace?
Yeah.
He's enough of a pain at home.
Right.
I'm just going to keep him there.
Well, I totally agree. Like, I just want to sit down and read a book.
Yeah.
And I've got this dog now trying to get my attention. And it's like, yo, let me just be at peace. You think I want that at the job too?
It's because the dog is bored. If you bring the dog to work, and then it will put his little nose to work. And when dogs sniff around a lot, it pretty much tires them out. So when you take the dog home, your dog would be exhausted. It wouldn't bother you when you're trying to read.
Oh, I made this mistake many years ago when we first got Luna. We brought her into work on Bring Your Dog to Work Day. And she, who never went to the bathroom in the house, totally destroyed that studio. And like
put on the show.
Oh, she was, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the scent of something in that station, but she did not care about her training and just abandoned all of it. And so then I have to go to, I remember this, I went to a PetSmart. It was so humiliating. I bought carpet cleaner, and I'm on my hands and knees scrubbing the floor because everyone insisted I bring my dog to work. You think I'm going to do that again?
Well, producer Heather already said she'll take the dog out.
You'll clean up after it and everything?
Yeah, I volunteer as tribute. I will watch the dog the entire time it's here.
Yeah, she won't get any work done, but the dog would be taken care of.
No, bring your dog to work is against most workplaces. That's my statement on this.
It shouldn't be anymore.
And it's not for the worker. It really isn't.
No,
sorry
down
guys.
with that thought.
Sorry to let you down, and happy Bring Your Dog to Work Day. A few moments ago on the radio, you heard Kenny sharing some news stories that are happening out in our world. And, I feel a little bad about that sometimes because the news that we talk about, it's not interesting to animals. Mm-hmm. And so you may have a dog in your car, your pet, and he's got his head out the window. Why? He doesn't care what we're talking about.
Right.
We want to do a show for everything. So not just human being related, pet related too.
Yeah.
And so this was born because, it was inspired by my dog Luna. I have a Labrador Retriever. She passes out in the living room with the radio on every day. She falls asleep during our show, so I'm very sensitive to this. Welcome to Luna's Animal Tales, in honor of my dog Luna, and that extends to your pet too. The biggest animal headlines that will be interesting to your animals from around the world. This one out of Mississippi. There's a fishing crew, two buddies. They decided, we're just going to go on a quick fishing trip in Granada Lake. They hadn't been out on the lake very long. All of a sudden, they noticed something bobbing in the water. It turned out to be dogs. Like a lot of dogs.
Yeah, not apples bobbing in the water. No, dogs.
As they got closer, they discovered dozens of hound dogs all of them wearing expensive radio collars and white paint. They were all treading water, which is a bizarre scene. I would wonder what the heck's going on here. They pulled the boat up to each dog. The fisherman crew started loading them one at a time into the boat. They loaded 27 dogs into their boat.
Oh, what a joyous time.
And they took them all to shore. As they went to shore, they found 11 more. A total of 38 dogs were rescued from the water. Turns out the dogs were part of a fox hunt earlier that day, and they continued to chase a deer that went into the lake. Now, that's a bunch of dumb hound dogs, because once like your first buddy or two maybe jump into the lake, you go the other way.
Not 38 of them.
And also, you're not supposed to be chasing a deer. It's a fox hunt. The dogs may have all died if these friends didn't come along, and they believe the dogs had been treading water for about 45 minutes to an hour. One of the fishermen said the dog owners tried to give the fishing crew money for saving their dogs, but they turned it down. They said they just happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Good people right there.
And they did the right thing, and they jumped into rescue mode. And what a story to tell there, right? That's amazing.
Amazing. Yep.
This story about a black bear, it was caught on camera in California, stole a cooler from the back of a truck from a bunch of construction workers, and then settled in to eat lunch. Like, peacefully.
That's so disrespectful. What do you do there when you see that happening? You're like, you know what? You can have it.
I would just be impressed and also like appreciative of how delicate he was with the cooler, how funny it was that he took it out and ate it like a human. And they were filming it, and then one construction worker ruined the fun and took the cooler back, chased the bear away. You gotta let it finish the meal at that point just to see what happens. The workers recovered their empty cooler, and they all were kind of shocked by this, and now the video is going viral around the internet.
The worker that chased the bear off, that was probably his lunch. He's probably like, no, I'm hungry. Come on, man.
Finally, in Luna's Animal Tales, drivers are on a highway and they see an emu in the middle of the road. What do you do if you see that?
You call the guy up from Liberty, 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 Liberty.
See, I keep driving. I wouldn't even do that. I would just be like, whoa, thank goodness I didn't hit that thing. She was driving her kids to school. This was a mom. She sees the large emu in the middle of the highway. She pulls over. Two drivers team up and they protect the emu from passing traffic. I just wouldn't do that. Good for her. They started herding it like a cow. The bird was successfully loaded into a transport device to a local vet clinic. Turns out it's okay. The kids were late to school, but they had a story to tell.
Oh, that's a fun story.
There is Luna's Animal Tales, another day in animal news.